Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast and game 1 in a best of 3 series between Strelok and Nani here, Naniwa here on, I believe, Shakuras Plateau. Of course it's Shakuras Plateau. What other map would it be that looks like this? This is game 1 in the Battle.net Invitational taking place from the European servers. As you can see, Strelok spawning as the red Terran player. And why are my colors all switched? That is going to confuse me, as it says Imba Strelok is the blue, but that is not the case. Can I switch it back around? How about if I do this and then re-pull it back up? Oh, okay, there you go. So yeah, Nani is the red Protoss, Imba Strelok is the blue Terran, as I get my colors fixed for this matchup. Now, this is game 1 in a best of 3 series, and before I say anything else, thank you for everyone who remembered to like my other videos. It definitely does help me out. Having higher likes means that there's a higher likelihood that the video will actually come up on searches, and the more views I get, the more I can try to sponsor some tournaments. The last tournament, $2,500 for first place to Team Fnatic. Straight from my own pocket, and based because a lot of you guys viewers wanted to see some clan wars, and I wanted to give that to you guys. So definitely, if you guys want more tournaments, more things hosted by me, and I would love to do it. I just have I would love to do it as well, but until I get an official corporate sponsor, everything does come out of my own pocket. So yes, please do remember to like and comment on my videos, as it definitely does increase my viewer rating. Anyways, getting back into this particular game, we can see Nani doing a little bit of early scouting, catching the barracks, and now a supply depot finally being built. But with that supply depot being built now, this one probe will be stuck in here, and it also means that we may be upgrading to an orbital command and a fast expansion. So this is going to be a gasless expansion here on Shakuras Plateau coming in from Strelok. Meanwhile, Nani opening up with that standard assimilator, getting into that cybernetics core. It's very rare to see a gasless expansion coming in. A gasless expansion coming in from a Protoss player, unless it is a Forge fast expand, as normally Protoss players really want to get that warp gate research up as quickly as possible. The warp gate research definitely helps. Helps with the production on those gateway units, as gateway units train significantly faster without or with that warp gate cooldown versus gateway warp in. We are getting one stalker now being chrono boosted, and it looks like it's going to move straight across the field and try to put some pressure on this front door. More and more Marines need to be trained. That is going to be the issue, and I believe a worker, that probe was in fact killed, so one worker already down. Strelok should be moving into a double gas build now in order to try to catch up in the economic game. As we can see, more and more Marines are being trained as this command center now being established at the natural expansion. Now, what will Nani do, or Naniwa do at this point? This is going to be very critical, as the stalker now looking around, making sure that there's nothing inside his base. Nani moving out also with a sentry as well. The sentry going to be there more as a defensive measure. As you can see, Nani now going into an expansion of his own. So with an expansion of his own, no 4-gate pressure, no early pressure. But he will be trying to keep his opponent honest with this stalker. The stalker going to walk up this ramp, get some sight, see the sheer number of Marines, and now back off down to 77 hit points there. But trying to utilize his superior range in order to get some damage in. But that stalker now down to 62, may be in a little bit of trouble as those Marines finally decide to back off. There is an orbital command now being upgraded here. We are going into a robotics bay and also another gateway. So what we should see is an observer followed by perhaps an immortal, and an immortal will be instrumental in trying to bust open this front door. Immortals dealing 50 damage per pop, attacking rather quickly. They have a rather small footprint, I believe the same footprint size as a stalker. So the DPS per space taken is much higher on an immortal in terms of being able to bust open this front door ramp. We should be upgrading to orbital command. Yes, now getting even more sentries, as well as Nani is running off of 1 base, 2 gas, and continuing to chrono boost more and more probes out in order to get his economy up and running. So who will take this? It is now 30 probes compared to 27 SCVs, but there are 2 mules as well. 7 minutes into this game, and we are now sitting at 43 food compared to 45. Still very even, as Strelok now opening up with a second bunker. The second bunker, perhaps he's expecting some early aggression. I'm not sure if he used the scanner sweep on his opponent. Yes, no, he did not use a scanner sweep anytime recently, but he perhaps suspects something is going to be coming in. He does know that his opponent has an expansion here, but he doesn't know the saturation rate, and he doesn't know if his opponent has started to cut probes in order to build a larger army. Supply depot also being added in here as well. We'll see what Strelok really tries to do. I'm surprised that Strelok hasn't put in one Marauder in each of these bunkers, as Marauders inside a bunker have a range of 7, and that is much, much further, and it definitely helps out much more if you're trying to get an early warning system on Stalkers. Stalkers only have a range of 6, and if you can slow them down before they get within range, that means that you can perhaps shut down 1 to 2 Stalkers, get some critical damage onto those units before anything happens. A Marine, now dangerously low on hit points, gonna get destroyed, but in exchange for a Stalker. So a very, very nice trade there, as the Marines are on the move. And now we are going into Ghost play. So a double Barracks, double Ghost now being trained. Stim Pack and Combat Shield now nearing completion at about the same time. And at the 9-minute mark, we may see these units finally move out. The Ghosts are going to slowly gain up enough energy to get off those critical EMPs. And with 1 to 2 nice EMPs on those sentries, you deny all of their energy, and you could remove all of their hit points and any other unit that happens to be sitting right by a sentry as well. The sentries are at maximum energy, or rather some of them are at maximum energy. 2 of them down at 150 energy, so a lot of force fields between those 4 sentries there. Soon to be up to 16, and that may be a little bit of a difficult wall to break through. We are now going into 6 gateways. Forge getting that level 1 armor upgrade as well. No level 1 weapons upgrade yet. So no level 1 weapons upgrade, level 1 armor upgrades. Perhaps reducing the amount of damage those Marines do, as more Vikings and Marauders are being added once again. You can see that there is a proxy pylon and a command center denial pylon right there. That is huge, as I believe Nani wants to take this opportunity and start putting pressure on the front door. We can see 51 SCVs compared to 51 probes. Vikings being added, Marines and Marauders being added, level 1 weapons upgrade being added, and now finally Medivacs being added to this group as well. Nani taking this opportunity to expand into the middle portion of the map. It is close to the middle portion, and that siege tanks here right by the Zelnaga Tower can start shelling off and dealing damage to this Nexus. There is still this proxy pylon here that Nani has yet to use, as we are now going into Archons. 2 Archons now merging. Archons merge rather quickly, and we'll see what's going to happen of these Archons. Perhaps these Archons will also get level 1 shield upgrades. Archons having 350 shields really benefit from shield upgrades over armor upgrades, but I believe that's one of the few Protoss units that actually do, just because of the large disparity between shields and hit points on an Archon. Observer still sitting on the inside of the base. We are going into more tech labs, and so we are going to have 2 Marines being trained at a time in addition to 4 Marauders, and this will definitely help, but we still have not seen another command center being built. This is rather odd. Without an additional command center, Strelok is going to have a very uphill battle trying to get back into this game economically. Nani now in a very dominant position here. He has this Nexus already up. He's sitting on more probes, and I believe he's just sitting on a slightly smaller army if you take into consideration the total gas cost as well. 500 difference between 1,000, so a 500 resource difference between these 2 armies, but that difference should be made up momentarily as another round of Zealots and High Templars now warping into play. 31, 25, 1975. Archons are making a move out, and what will be happening? Another Archon merging as we are getting into the level 2 weapons upgrade. A High Templar does not have feedback, or sorry, does not have Psystorm, so I'm very curious as to what these High Templars really plan to do. Perhaps trying to feed back a Medivac would be a great use of their energy, as the Medivacs would then essentially lose all of their abilities. Or is a Ghost perhaps gonna EMP Shockwave, unable, and another EMP Shockwave. So wow, Templars just getting destroyed, and now the Marauders, another EMP shockwave chasing after all of those units. The Marauders and the Marines now mounting a very strong counter-attack force. And are the Ghosts even strong enough? Zealots now also engaging as well. Are we going to get enough Marines? There's some force fields, both sides battling, but those Marines are not going to get surrounded, and this may actually be a very beneficial position for Strelok, as Vikings now going into ground mode. Marauders finishing off more units. It looks like the Marauder and the Marine Army with a couple Stalkers may be able to survive this. It's going to really come down to micro, but the level 2 armor upgrades, in addition to that Guardian Shield, really reducing the amount of damage those Marines do from 7 down to 3. Down goes one Archon. This Archon dangerously low on hit points. It does get taken down as well, as Strelok getting in a couple nice quick kills on those more expensive units. And now this factory being forced to fly away after taking some damage from sentries, stalkers, and a zealot as well. Archons now merging over here. We are getting perhaps one zealot and a factory just hiding off over here, as this planetary fortress has been established. 50 SCVs compared to 67 probes, but we definitely have a stronger economy by Nani, even though we do have what's it called, some mules in play. We are gonna wow. Strelok now dropping into the main base here. One medevac may get destroyed. No, the medevac does not get destroyed, as it is continuing to just drop more and more units. The medevacs are low on hit points, but the stalkers are going after those other units, as this drop now getting in a lot of damage. Perhaps he should try to be shutting down this robotics bay. The robotics bay now going to get sniped down. No, it is not going to get sniped down anytime soon. And now a very, very hot pickup. And will that Archon get off a shot? No. Oh, it does get off a shot. And wow, shutting down and killing off a lot of those units before the medevac moved out within range. And now in comes another push along the center. Strelok doing a good job, and now without Psystorm or Colossi, this Marine Marauder army doing absolute damage so far. Down goes this Nexus. There are a lot of pylons now being warped in here as well, trying to free up some food, as we also have a drop into the main base. The Templar Archives may get sniped down, as well as the medevacs constantly heal up these Marauders. There are Marines on the low ground. It looks like the Archon now going to try to engage just a little bit, as more and more units now dropping up onto the high ground. So Strelok doing just straight drop play, doing a great job, and now we'll be able to shut down the main base even further. We are sitting on 3 bases versus 3, but Nani has his back up, is just back up against the ropes now, needs to figure out what exactly his long-term goal is, and trying to rebuild and trying to get back into this game. You can see more feedback hitting more medevacs. So the feedback hitting some of those medevacs, and now they are once again retreating. And now Marauders and Marines pushing off over here. It looks like this Nexus may be the next building to go. The Marauders, there are 10 of them. They are upgraded 1-1. One pylon now destroyed. Now going after the Nexus. Is it going to be enough? Stimming it. You can see it's already down to 500 hit points. 400. Is it going to be enough? Yes, it is going to be enough, as the Zealots now get some, trying to chase after those Marauders, but the Marauders able to get enough distance there, as another drop happening over here on the main base once again. So Strelok doing a great job being everywhere at once, shutting down base, shutting down production. I believe this one pylon also powering these 2 additional gateways. Another robotics facility will get destroyed. The robotics bay trying to be rebuilt, as we are going to be getting a bit of a counterattack now. Archons now pushing in. It looks like the level 2 armor upgrade's not going to really be able to do anything at all, as the Marines and the Marauders are once again in full retreat in order to regroup. Income tab shows a different story, or it shows the same story now, with 1,600 minerals being mined a minute, even though it's 60 harvesters compared to 72. The Walk of Shame being used at multiple bases in order to be able to harvest at non-diminishing returns, as the Archon now chasing after a medevac, unable to really catch up to it and destroy it. Medevac still flying around. We are getting Marauders and Marines in the center portion of the field. 3-3 upgrades about to be completed, and I believe this may be everything that Strelok needs to put the final nail in the coffin. Those Ghosts with EMP shockwaves will easily shut down many of those High Templars, and even hitting those Archons, dealing 100 damage per EMP shockwave. That is a lot of damage to be had, as the Marines and the Marauders now perhaps trying to do a bit of a flank. We're going to have a unit engagement in the center portion. Is it going to happen anytime soon? It looks like, yes, we finally have Psystorm, as we are now going into personal cloaking. Those ghosts will be able to cloak and perhaps land those EMP shockwaves much more effectively than if they were not cloaked, as we now see another medevac drop happening here at the natural expansion. Probes getting destroyed. I believe that's 4 or 5. A Zealot now trying to engage, but still not much is going to really be happening in the long term. A Zealot now trying to take down a Marauder, but the Marauder in a very nice defensive posture should be able to fend off this attack even further. It looks like another Archon trying to join back in, and oh, will it be able to shoot it down? No, unable to shoot it down. Oh, able to shoot it down. Wow. Nani getting a bit lucky there, shooting down a low hit point medevac with that range of 4 attack. We can see another drop now coming in from Strelok. Strelok looking to continue to capitalize on his damage. Will he be successful, or will he get turned away once again? Taking a look at the income, a much larger army by Strelok, but the income tab still shows Nani is slightly ahead. It's a question of who do you think is ahead now and who can destroy the other more effectively. Ghost most likely will be leading the way here, perhaps getting some EMP shockwaves on some key and critical units. If he's able to get the EMP shockwave on the sentry and prevent the force fields, that would be beneficial. In addition, getting the EMP shockwave on, say, Immortals, Colossi, or Archons would be very effective as well. As you can now see, there's an EMP shockwave. Are we going to get another EMP shockwave? Yeah, there's another EMP shockwave hitting all of those units back over there. There's one Psystorm, and now merging into an Archon. Marauders just continuing to try to engage. More Marauders will be joining in on this fight in just a moment. Here we go. The Marauders finally engaging here, but still getting destroyed rather quickly, as more Zealots now coming in off from the north. Another EMP shockwave getting in a lot of damage on those Zealots, as those Zealots took one too many EMPs. And the army combination now 1,000 to 4,100. And yes, Strelok takes game 1 in this best of 3 series. Stay tuned for game 2.